Okay, wait. Before we begin, quick disclaimer, Miss Munch has not blocked me, okay?
It's something about her. She got a void. I can't deny it. When I'm around her, I feel it inside. I feel it the sky. Open to the sunshine, stars gleaming. Getting what I've been hoping for.
Join me, Naledi Mallela, on a brand new season of My Top 5. What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another fire episode right here on my channel. Now, if you are new here today, I am gonna say the thing that I always say. Please make sure to subscribe, click that button, and also click the notification bell so that you can get a notification every time the sweet face drops. And for all my returning subscribers, asibangele. Thank you. I'm not even gonna lie, I was so shocked when I saw Miss Munch on my feed. She was posting, like, I think her mom's birthday, and I was like, but I didn't follow her. But then I checked and I was like, I'm pretty sure she had deactivated at the time that I was filming my video. So let's just forgive her, give her grace, and she's not the bad person that we thought she was. At least not off camera. So I think I'm falling a little bit sick, so if I clear my throat quite a couple of times, please forgive me. The change in season always does this to me. But welcome back to another fire TV recap of The Mommy Club. Now, I'm gonna have to say this, bullshit aside, The Mommy Club is definitely my favorite reality TV show right now to date. I mean, I've been watching The Mommy Club and Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I think they are a strong contender in comparison to what we're seeing on the other Real Housewives franchises, right? So the girlies have been asking me to do another TV recap, and I've been saying I'm gonna do it, and then one day I did it and I realized that my microphone is off. I obviously had to scrap the whole video. So I had to choose a day, I had to rewatch the episodes, and lucky for you guys, I've made some notes. Yaman, break down episode 7, break down episode 8. I didn't even watch episode 9 because I think the last time I did a TV recap, I left you guys from episode 1 to episode 2 or 3. So now it's picking up from 3 all the way to episode 8. Not that there's really much that we're going to touch on. We're just going to touch on, obviously, the pinnacle points of the show. So let's jump into it. Now, honestly, guys, I'm not going to lie. First things first, I have to say that episode after episode, there is drama. I'm loving the show. I really genuinely love the build-up. I know it's very surprising of me to say this, but the build-up has been very gradual, and I love how everything is kind of playing out from like a gradual slope. Nobody really just wants anything that just hypes off from episode 1, although they did have a very explosive episode 1, which I love for them because they have some very strong contenders, which is Happy Simelane, the queen. So honestly, from episode 3 to episode 8, they've been giving nothing but tea. But let's pick it up from when they did the dinner with Omuhle, right? So I don't really remember much before that, okay? I must have watched it, I must have enjoyed it. I nobody really care. But I will say this, I told you guys that Ratile is an all bark, no bite kind of girl. Sorry, it's true. Ratile is an all bark, no bite kind of woman. But anyway, let's break it down and let's narrate the story. Now, so Mrs. Mops and Omuhle decide to host like a girls' dinner or like a girls' luncheon where they have wine tasting, they have lots of drinks, everything is great, everything is hunky-dory. But this is where the trouble really starts, right? In the previous episodes, Ratile had a sit down with Mrs. Mops where she told Mrs. Mops that she feels like Happy is cloud chasing. Of which, to be really, really honest with you, Happy, I love you so much. You have over 100,000 followers on TikTok. You are so entertaining, but I'm gonna have to give this one to Ratile. There is a little bit of cloud chasing element in how you conduct yourself or how you kind of tell stories and how you kind of, okay, Happy, let's bullshit aside. We tatela fame. Ayo taba ya hao. Wherever there's a scandal, you will be at the forefront of it. Honestly, rest in peace to your late husband. But yes, that one is fine. I don't really want to judge Happy on that, because when her husband passed, I didn't really see that story kind of make rounds. It probably did, but I didn't see it, honestly. So I don't know how she was acting throughout that moment. But I will tell you what I did see. What I saw in real time on social media was when the Tammy Taylor saga dropped, right? That's when, obviously, after the Real Housewives van Pretoria. So, fun fact, I could or could not be falling sick. So, I can't even tell for chicken skin, man. I think the change of season is really messing with my allergies. You know what I mean? Honestly, like I said, I wasn't there to see her husband's death playing out as like a tragedy on social media. But what I did see is how Happy was the first one to basically stand up to everything that was going on with Tammy Taylor and this, that, and the third. And then the other thing that was spoken about, which I also did not see, was about the whole scandal of, I don't know if it was her or her husband running somewhat of a Ponzi scheme. Allegedly. It is alleged because I don't know how true this is. I didn't really know Happy prior to this saga. I didn't know her. The only reason I found out about Happy was because of Real Housewives van Pretoria. You understand? When that whole thing started unfolding. So I didn't really know her. I didn't come across her stuff. However, we can't lie and say Ratile doesn't have a point about how Happy stuff is always in the forefront of social media news, and how her husband's passing and the whole mistress stuff and stuff like that, and how it's, look at it from episode 1 up until episode now. We're still talking about Happy's issues. We're still talking about Happy's husband. We're still talking about all of that stuff. Everything is basically revolving around Happy's life, consisting of somewhat turmoil, right? So I don't blame Ratile, because that is also very much of a red flag. How the Tabata, how they always somehow leaked. By who? By who? Like, okay, I have no problem with Happy Gamrata. She's one of my favorite characters, and I've actually solidified that she's one of my favorites. But at the end of the day, Happy, yes, I think Happy really just finds pure joy at being at the forefront of people's tongues, and that's okay. That is fairly okay. That also is an assumption that we're making here. We don't know if Happy actually yields that kind of fame, because for Ratile to say, I feel like Happy's always cloud chasing, but Ratile has a point here when she's like, Happy told me this and told me not to tell anybody. Kante, she had told everybody in the group. So at some point or the other, people are going to raise it up. Now, I feel like that was one of the things that was scripted on the show. I think Happy was obviously just kind of, personally for me, how I feel like it played out, it was a case of Happy threw a bone and was waiting to see who was going to oust it, you know? So that much is true. But the only thing I will say is Miss Mops was a bit shady. Well, the game started off very shady, and I'm here for the tea and the shade, darling. But I feel like Miss Mops was a bit shady by obviously throwing Ratile under the bus, of which Ratile, to be really honest, you're on a reality show, it was bound to happen, Miss Scut. Not to say that I'm saying Miss Mops is right. Miss Mops was not right for what she did. However, at some point or the other, the thought should have crossed your mind that Mrs. Mops would have most likely done something like that. Because you did say it in your diary sessions. She's very strategic. Ratile, why do you speak like that? Why? And I can't watch Ratile without getting irked. Especially from her diary sessions. Like, I just don't understand what all the theatrics is for. And I don't understand, Hore. What are you doing? Stop it. Like, what are you doing? Speak properly. Because you do realize that we watch your diary sessions and then we watch how you are in real life, and you're not, I don't know, something about your diary sessions gives exactly what Mrs. Munch said, classist, but then you really try to act like you're a part of it, and in actual fact, you're not. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, Ratile, I said it. I am a bit tispy, but I will be honest and say that I called it. You are a dog that barks, no bite. However, do I feel like to some degree you were bullied? Yes. So I'm gonna defend you. Get behind me. I'm here. Tabaya happy le Mrs. Mops ayente, and then after that Omuhle chimes in and says, no, yeah, everything ya how idula ilego in the forefront of the papers and what. And Happy's like, but I'm not the one who's putting it out there, which we all know was a lie, but we love the dedication to that lie. Okay? Now, while Omuhle is seconding Ratile, Manch chimes in. Okay, I just want to say, disclaimer, thank you so much for me realizing that you didn't block me. But I'm gonna have to drag you for this. Like, it's my job, guys. I'm getting paid. This is coined, okay? You guys might hate me for the rest of your lives, but this is coined. No, this is really how I feel. Anyway, fine. So Omuhle chimes in and is like, yeah, everything about you is in the forefront and stuff like that. And then Miss Munch chimes in and says, you're a fine one to talk. No, honestly, let me keep it a buck. When Miss Munch did that, I was like, okay, nakai wena mo. I was like, and then wena? Because she's like, you're a fine one to talk. And then Miss Munch is, and then Omuhle is like, relax. Don't tell me to relax. Relax. Don't tell me to relax. Okay? Now, let me explain it from both viewpoints, right? Miss Munch is justified in saying you're a fine one to talk, and I'll tell you why. We already know that Omuhle is famous by profession, okay? It's not even a case of she's famous because she's accrued this fame from, you know, being a baddie in the streets. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know Omuhle outside of this. But we can say Omuhle was an actress. I don't know if she still acts now, but she is an actress by profession. So she is famous. People will talk about her, and that's just what it is. However, I tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so nobody better be touched about this. Omuhle has had various instances in the recent past where she has been very, very shady in the streets and obviously causing people to talk about her in the blogs, especially with regards to the paternity of the father. Hey! Guys, can you believe that I was there in real time watching everything play out? Like, I'm also still in very much fair shock, okay? So fine, Miss Munch saying that is a bit justified because it's like, but also you have done very questionable things. And when I say questionable, the only thing I'm saying is that she's definitely dropped some gems and she's dropped some like little inklings of fighting with this supposed gent, with the girlfriend about, you know, she was dating this specific guy. Well, she was in the past, if memory serves me correctly, and they were basically jabbing at each other, and she was basically leaving breadcrumbs about who the father is. Look, I think Omuhle was wronged in this episode, but I need to tell the whole story in its entirety, you know? So if I'm correct, I think Miss Munch is saying you're a fine one to talk in the sense that, don't talk about you're always at the forefront of cloud when you were at the forefront of cloud and you were actually perpetuating that conversation, of which she was. I saw it myself. Like, it's not even a case of kamo. Omuhle was definitely at the forefront of throwing subliminal jabs, and the other person was at the forefront of throwing subliminal jabs. We all saw it. It was on every blog known to man, and that's what happened. Sharp. All right. Then after that, Munch after that gets touched. I think also, okay, but the flip coin of it is Munch. Now I really appreciate that follow back. But also you, where Nakai, like, I understand that you were also trying to say you can't throw stones in a glass house. But I don't think that was the moment for you to say that. And unfortunately, if you're gonna throw jabs at me, you're gonna catch this tea, honey. You're gonna catch this piping hot tea. If you say you're a fine one to talk, I'm gonna say, not you. You know what? Omutle is a better person than me. I would have taken it down to hell. And the unfortunate thing is, because we already know you guys and your life stories, I would have never hesitated to take it that far. You know what I mean? And I've noticed that a lot of people aren't trying to take it that far with Manch. It was only Ratile who obviously made the very derogatory statement about Jolofina, of which we've addressed. But nobody has actually taken the time and the effort to take it that far with Miss Manch. And I don't know why. Guys, Miss Manch, it's a pot waiting to burst. Kore, if she had said that to me, not you. Anybody but you. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to say I'm a fine one to talk? Are you? But maybe Omuhle had it. So it makes sense, right? If I was Omuhle, I would have taken it to hell. Probably because I know we all have seen things transpire about Miss Manch and her personal life, that being with her friends, her relationship, da 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 da. So Omuhle is a better woman than me, but I also felt like Manch had a point in saying, not you. Anybody at this table but you. Okay? Maybe Lena bamjodita bamufile bamotopela ko tsebeng ba re e so Lena a cho kante Omuhle had no comeback for that, which is fair. Sharp. It's still very lukewarm. The other one was Ratile and Tseho, Miss Manch, about the whole friendship thing. Now, I don't know what's been happening. I don't know if Miss Manch was pulled to the side and offered an extra 100K, but Miss Manch has been moving very strangely. And I'm just like, but you know, now forgive me for saying this, because honestly, even the most reality show is scripted to a certain degree. So certain people are made to look certain ways, even though that's not the case. But I genuinely felt so weird when she wanted to retell Storisa or Ratile and her friend Tseho. Lena, the friend, Ratile's friend is Tseho, the one who confided in Tseho, Miss Manch, about the situation of their friendship. You know? So the conundrum, I used a big word today, guys. Conundrum. For anybody who doesn't know what conundrum means, it means the problem here. So now the conundrum here that we have, and we have every right as the audience to address, is that if Tseho is very, Miss Manch, that being, if Miss Manch is hell-bent on not discussing anything about the contents of her relationship with Kifilo Mabote, which honestly, I'm gonna give her kudos to that. Kudos to that, because she had every opportunity to kind of direct the narrative in a way that made her look like the victim in the fallout of the friendship. But she said, I don't want to talk about it, I don't want to get into it, and we need to respect that. But Ratile did, didn't she? She tried to talk about it. She said she doesn't want to delve into it. She said, okay, fine. So what does Manch do? Manch talks to the friend. Manch decides to now relay what was said at the table. Now, Ratile, here's where you have no leg to stand on. First and foremost, your friend is a friend of the show. Let's call her a friend of the show, because now she wasn't actually on the show, but she had the balls to share how she feels about you to Miss Manch, who wasn't actually really your friend. Let's be honest. She wasn't. She isn't. Well, I don't know where you guys stand now, but she wasn't your friend. And for your friend to discuss that with someone who wasn't your friend already is grounds for a red flag. 2, this thing is all being seen on camera. What did you think was most likely to happen? You know what I mean? And I think Manch, before she raised it up at the table with the women, she asked Ratile kayo another thing. Wang understand? So Ratile, wana hanzo eta so. I don't get ke friendshipping tsa hao, so why hanzo yetsa jwalo ipotso hobaneng chomi ya hao abana le sbete to go and tell Miss Manch about the complexities of your friendship. This is a you problem, babe. This is not a Manch problem. This is a you problem, you know? I fine. But Manch Lena took it a bit too far. However, I don't blame Manch. I probably would have done the same thing. I probably would have said, yo, mkhots, you know? But what I disliked about Ratile's response is that she's trying to clap back by saying that I don't ask you about Kifi Poo. Kifi Poo was not a conversation on the show. Kifi Poo was a conversation you raised up, and you are the only individual in this show who raised it up. It's giving I've been a fan since way back when. Ratile kaneti, seriously, I really want to defend you here, but I'm just also on some. But unfortunately, your friend was on the show. It's going to occur. But for you to clap back by saying, I don't ask you get chumzao. First and foremost, happy as chumya unless ki chumya how, I don't know. But secondly, that is not footing to stand on. If you feel some type of way of which you clearly described that you do, that's fine. But I respect that. For Munch to throw it at the table like that was very childish, very uncalled for. It's giving very, juvenile behavior. However, we needed the tea. We needed to know. We saw it on camera. So, of course, we want to know what a little guy, but that's fine. Then, ubenale happy. Then I went out to decide sharp. Then the other aspect of the dinner that occurs is Omuhle and Nunurai. Now, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Nunurai and Ratile are my least favorite. And I know everyone's gonna say, no, but Nunurai is nice. Nunurai is not. I don't know, man. Maybe Nunurai was set up as like the guinea pig, Somebody's gotta get villain status some point, somehow. And initially, we all expected it to be Happy Simelane. But unfortunately, Happy is just loved. And the thing about it is, I have no problem with Nunurai. She was not my favorite. She was not my least favorite. She was just I was indifferent. But you know what I disliked? And the thing is, you guys are going to call me out for this. You guys are not going to agree with me with this, but that's okay because I've never needed an audience of people to agree with me for something that I believe in. Okay, now let's touch on how Nunurai and Omuhle went down, and I'm trying my best to obviously be as impartial to the situation as possible, but I'm not gonna let you guys slide over what Nunurai has said. Nunurai has been super classist, and you guys don't see it because she's got this monotonous Kourtney Kardashian demeanor. Okay, so Omuhle is talking, and then after that, Nunurai decides to, oh yeah guys, let's all ask questions. Have you ever been here for clout? She asks a question and she's like, who is the father of your kid? And then everyone just goes. Now we all know that question was planted. We all know somebody had to be the villain, and it's so very unfortunate that it was Nunurai, right? No, it's not unfortunate. I think Nunurai took it upon herself to be very sneaky and slimy, because I saw when she asked her, who is the father of your child? And then she looks at Mops and Ratile, and she just, like that smile, and I was just like, we all know who this question's directed to. We all know who the question's directed to, So now Omuhle then asks, how is the paternity, or obviously the father of my child, how is it gonna change your life? And then Nunurai starts backtracking on some, this is basically what we saw on social media. It's not a me thing. I don't know anything about you. They start obviously being very catty. And what's this? Omuhle was saying, how is that going to change your life? How's that going to change the price of bread? Or whatever the case may be. And then Nunurai is like, no, but it's what was happening. It is what was trending on social media. And then after that, I think Omuhle then threw like some subliminals, like, you're a fan. Yo guys, I don't know what I ate, but I'm feeling I don't feel grand. I don't know what the hell's going on. But anyway, Omuhle then started saying, oh, then clearly you're a fan, whatever the case may be. And then Nunurai started saying, I'm not a fan. I don't even know anything about you. Like, what are you doing? And then it started being little backs and forths. And then then Nunurai threw jabs on some, I don't even know where you act, what you do, whatever the case may be. I mean, I would have known you if you were somewhat of like stature or something like that. And then Omuhle said something like, oh, obviously you wouldn't know me. Are there even any satellites in Bulawayo? Even I went, Hi, Omuhle. Now, let me break down why I'm good and why I'm bad for reality TV, okay? I'm good for reality TV because you know those comebacks will be insane, but I'm bad for reality TV because I don't know when to draw the line. And when I think of what Omuhle said was very offensive. You know what I mean? I mean, it wasn't like, xenophobia, but it was giving, yeah, dude, come on, you know what you're alluding to when you say that. You know where you were going with that, and that was just really uncalled for. You know, like that was very distasteful. Like I was just like, but you know how pretty girls fight anyway. Like we fight very, like we. We're not taking it there. No. I don't fight like that. I genuinely don't take it there. And then because I still believe in having respect even in anger. Like I genuinely believe in that. The only people that I probably may or may have not respected are my exes, okay? But then fuck them anyway, because here I am. But I will say this, Omuhle, very wrong. That statement, it was a bit distasteful. It showed lack of decorum a little bit. However, Nunurai, what you did that was wrong is claiming you don't know who Omuhle is. Okay. You want to know who the father of a child is? Ungenapi? Ya papa. Tula. Yeah, to be really honest with you, do I feel like that was an insensitive question? Yes. Do I feel like Nunurai, you're stepping out of your bounds? Yes. Do I feel like you should actually go to your orthodontist and change the color of the things on your braces? Probably. Maybe go tighten your wires. I know this, I had braces. But don't be involved in shit that has nothing to do with you. And so you took it there. And unfortunately, the truth of it is, you are gonna meet people who will feel nothing with taking it that far. And honestly, let's keep it a buck. I don't even think Nunurai took as much offense until all of us took offense on her behalf. I don't think she took offense because if Nunurai had registered what was being said, she would have went, excuse you? Okay. But let me tell you how she took offense. She then calls her sister the next day on some, yeah, and like we don't even know her. Hey, Zimbabwe's the villages, where does she even act? But guys, that's my thing. Nunurai was already being very condescending towards Omuhle. You understand? She was already looking at Omuhle, looking down on Omuhle. From that question, from the diary sessions. So my chat is, why are we expecting Omuhle to be the bigger person here? Yes, Omuhle, we're not saying this is grounds to be weird or be xenophobic or anything of that nature. But also, why are we expecting Omuhle to have grace and poise? You know? Can't have grace and poise if you're gonna try me, Hampe, if you're gonna ask me about the father of my child and then claim you don't know me. Bitch, yes, the fuck you do. On Showmax, your appearance is your debut on TV. I was asked to come because I have been on TV. No, I'm obviously saying if I was Omuhle, understand what I'm saying? Like, not me. Like, but also Omuhle, you took it too far. You took it too far, mama. You took it too far. And honestly, there was something very laced. I was very put off. Like, it was going at Sharpkev. Mighty Sharpkev, you already lost the battle by taking it there. You really don't have to take it there. You could have taken it anywhere else. You could have asked her about the father of her kids. You could have asked her anything about her. What you did was, it went from being a show with drama to being, cancelled. Yeah, this is why, no. The only reason I'm not giving you flack for it is because you apologized when the episode came out. However, I just honestly and personally feel like you could have handled that 10 times better. You seem like the type that has some really strong comebacks up her shoulder, but I will say this in your defense, you obviously had a lot of daggers in your way. You didn't know where to look, you didn't know how to react. That's fine. However, don't ever fucking say the bullshit out of your motherfucking mouth ever again. Can't keep defending you like this. Couldn't get behind me. Both of them are wrong, but I'm very irritated by Nunurai. She's been getting on my nerve episode after episode, and now she's reached the pinnacle of my anger. Okay, and we are allowed to like and dislike people. And I'm telling you right now, without a shadow of doubt, Nunurai and Ratile at the bottom of my list. That's it. Miss Manch is third bottom, but at least she's not at the bottom. I just can't decide who's at the bottom between Ratile and Nunurai. Fine, all of that plays out, and then after that, what happens after? Oh, my notes. Another aspect that happened towards the end of that episode, which then kind of spilled into the next one, is that Tseho and Ratile left, of which, you know what, you can't, I don't blame them, but I also think it was a little bit childish on their part. And then the next episode obviously began with Nunurai explaining, I think, to her sister Verna. And you know what I love and hate about audience is that once we start finding people that we like and dislike, we aren't objective about things. Like in the next episode, Nunurai was being very classist about Omuhle when she was talking to her sister Verna. I think it's her sister. She was talking to her sister. She's like, yeah, you make small money, you get a small Gucci. Like, Nunurai, if you're so rich, what are you doing on a reality show? What are you doing here? You don't need fame. You don't need to buy one small Gucci. What are you doing here? Like, don't bore us. Like, don't come here and act like we're not king. You're the end all and be all. I think the problem is I started rewatching all the other episodes and I started realizing how very classist and how very condescending Nunurai and Ratile's diary sessions are. And I want you to go back, guys. Go back from episode 3 and rewatch. And actually look, Miss Munch is also another one who's got some very shady diary sessions, but the only thing I will commend her for is actually saying all that shit that she says behind closed doors in front of the people's faces. You know what I mean? Miss Mops is shady, but we all know Miss Mops is mastermind, Dr. Evil, that's always like designed to put everyone together to argue. But next episode flies in, chimes in, Nunurai's talking to her sister. I felt some weird type of way about that, but I get it. She was still in her fields and she had every right to go off, you know? I don't endorse shady behavior. I don't endorse hitting below the belt. I really don't. That's why I get it. Let's just hit. Let's not hit below the belt. Let's just hit, you know? I don't blame Nunurai for going off. Obviously, if someone's gonna come at you like that, and maybe it only clicked seconds later that this felt a little bit discriminatory, then I don't really blame her for her comebacks. But I also say then, you know, if it's going to apply on the left, it must apply on the right. You know, if you offend someone, then you can't control their reaction. So that's fine. And then I really like how Tseho's mom called Tseho out, saying, yeah, I'm not the champagne anymore. You see, the thing that I love is that there is a voice of reason here. The mom is like, why did you say that? You could have kept quiet. You could have said that at a restaurant and then it came back later. But you saying that in the moment was instigating an argument. So the mom was like, but Luena or wrong. Why did you say that? And the mom asked, oh, no, champagne, no, it's a thing. Of which, yeah, I thing. Skip to the part where Ratile and Happy meet up. I think Ratile, for me, my only concern with her is that maybe she's someone who really doesn't like conflict. And I can believe that because I know I have friends of mine who sometimes say sorry to diffuse the situation and not sorry because they're sorry. You know, so Happy Kopanilena, why are you calling me that? I wanna hubuiwe. Do I think Ratile doesn't have malice towards any of them? Yeah. Do I think that when she said that she wasn't trying to be weird? Yeah. But do I also think that in that moment she should have just apologized and not try to explain it? Yes. Because now you're still defending what you're saying. You're still accusing her of that cloud chasing moment, but then you're saying, okay, well then I'm sorry. But when she asked you, why did you think that? And you're like, yeah, it feels planted. Well, I guess she explained herself, so I can't really blame her because Happy then asked her, why did you think that? So to that degree, I think Ratile, she stood her ground and that's fine. And I think she's taken a lot of low blows and yeah, it is what it is, mama. Stop saying things about people in the diary sessions. Start there. Say it to their faces. Stop saying it on the side. Stop using this pageantry. Yeah, and I'm gonna say like this. That scene passes. I can't even read my whole word. I can't even read my own writing. I should have been a doctor. They meet up at the club. Calabar, I booked out the whole club, happy. Booking out the whole club during daytime. So, I booked up the whole club. You can go and film at a club during the daytime. It's free. That's because no one is there. The club only starts operating from like 7. Like, happy holo. Yeah, I booked out the whole club. Yes, because you're filming at 3 p.m. Duh. Like, hello. Happy books out the whole club. She invites everybody but Ratile. She feels like Ratile is shady. And then Manch chimes in. She's like, yeah, no, Ratile. Oh, I think she met up with Ratile and told Ratile how she felt. Saying, well, no, man, why didn't Ratile express this disdain with me about the friendships and stuff like that? Of which, man, you're also a bit unreasonable for that. You're also a bit unreasonable for that because you should have realized then and there at that table that you overstepped your boundaries. And when you did, why is it still a thing of you feeling some type of way or feeling like I should have told you? Like, tola man lo ena tola twenty tabeng tsa batho if motho o jwetsa re mara why wena we discussion nak no e bua ka bana wena so e buile. Are you not? What's not clicking vibe? What's not clicking vibe? Like, no, Manch unalibu victim mentality. I think the only thing I dislike about Manch is that she's got a victim persona. She did that on some why didn't Mrs. Mops chase her? And Miss Mops is like, I wasn't gonna chase you. I wasn't gonna chase you. Like, you are grown, I'm hosting, and you decided, yeah, but you didn't check on me, friend. First of all, need. You guys are not friends. You're not friends outside of the show, but it's okay. But also, Manch, I don't know what you expected Mops to do in that time, but of course she wasn't going to chase after you if you just upped and decide to leave. If you had texted her, say, hey friend, I'm thinking of leaving, pulled her to the side saying, you know what, friend, I'm out. I'm over this. I don't want to do this. That would have been a completely different story. So you decided to leave and that was on your own accord. And unfortunately, if you're going to cause drama at the table and expect Mops to come and nurse your emotions, that's just really weird to me. I don't understand that concept. But anyway, Manch expresses her disdain for Ratile right now, and it just started feeling like a let's bully Ratile alliance, you know. It started feeling like a Ratile, you know, hey, Ratile also. But unfortunately, Ratile, you have no one to blame but yourself. If you just shut your ass up, you wouldn't be here. Happy obviously wasn't going to invite Ratile. They spoke and Happy felt how she felt, rightfully so. Didn't invite Ratile. Tsecho then chimes in, yeah, hey Ratile now genso so ha bualena, hey ha. It started to feel a little bit bully alliance. Guys, we're on a show, invite everybody. But also, I'm glad Ratile didn't go because imagine if she went, it would have been another session for everybody to basically gang up on her. So, as much as I don't like Ratile right now, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say she isn't being somewhat, to some degree, made the target. She's being made the target. Fine. If it guys, honestly, like, does anybody care about what goes on with the nannies? Do you guys care? Are you watching? I think they just like episode fillers. Like, I don't know any of the nannies, nor do I watch. I just scroll past. No offense to any of the nannies. I just honestly, like, no. I'm here for the ladies. Like, sorry. But then, yeah, guys, like, that's pretty much what's been happening. I haven't watched episode 9. I think, honestly, the past few episodes have been boiling up to this moment where the women are honestly showcasing their true colors. Like, before I closed this off, oh yeah, and then they had the session where they came to Nunurai's place to cook jollof rice and to talk about what had happened, and Happy explained her side and everybody was just explaining to Happy, dude, don't you think this is weird? Of which Happy, oh you're engaged. Truth is, I don't believe anything about Happy's wedding. I don't believe anything about Happy's story. I don't believe shit. Like, no. I think the women to some degree are right that Happy definitely is cloud chasing, but now we don't know what Happy's reasoning behind cloud chasing is. We don't know if she's doing it because she was instructed to give, you know, drama to television, or whether this is generally in her character. You know, we don't know that unless there are people who know Happy outside of, you know, this very nicely packaged show and can tell us, no guys, actually Happy also really Happy, when she's in love, she goes in. The whole story of her and the current fiance was quite painful. Initially I was like, and now you're getting married and all that other riffraff. And then I kind of delved into it a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper, and I will be honest with you guys and say that at some point it stopped becoming entertainment, and I somewhat felt a lot of disdain towards Happy, because I don't understand how this is content. Like, yes guys, there's content. Whoa. But then marrying someone and narrating the story like there's nothing wrong, getting him jailed, wrongfully accused, like, at some point, more than anything, I just felt bad for the guy in question, and I'm not going to really delve into it. Not because it doesn't make for good television. It makes for great television, guys, but it's just at what cost? But then when they started calling each other, then I was like, are you sure these two didn't just conspire a story just to because who else can back the story that he really was arrested and this really happened? Who else can come and say, no man, kimaka, omaka Happy? You know what I mean? Like, it's very like, I'm very touch and go about it, because if it's true, I genuinely feel like Happy's a horrible person. I mean, I've seen it with the treatment of her children, but I genuinely just thought it's just navigating the spaces of content creation for us, you know? But when I saw that story come out, I was just starting to think like, yeah, I don't know. No. This is off-putting. It's not funny. Yeah, you're in a relationship. And that's something you're proud of. But also, thank you for living in your truth. You know, a lot of us are afraid to live in our truth because the truth is embarrassing. So kudos to you, but not something I really enjoyed watching. And also because I can only imagine the atrocities that guy faced, not just because he was a man who was accused of rape, but he's also a Nigerian man. So he's already facing two tribulations on top of one. He's already facing the tribulation of being a man who's accused of rape, and then he's facing xenophobia. How horrible was that experience? I don't know. I think everybody's just glossing over that part. So let's gloss over it, because maybe Happy and him have made peace with it. They're engaged again. It's their story to tell. But personally for me, I was just like, I applaud her for being honest. However, it just doesn't make you as lovable as you were 2 episodes ago, type of thing. Meh, but that's just me. That's just me, guys. This is me. Like, who cares what I have to say about it, you know? So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. They are giving us the tea. Oh, then Miss Manchiba Kopana. Okay, well, just quick breakdown of how I feel about the women. So far, I have no issue with Mrs. Mops. I think she's an instigator, but I think somebody's got to instigate this season, you know what I mean? Happy's definitely, she's carrying the show on her back, dude. Like, everything that has to do with Happy, I am watching. I'm at the forefront of it. Miss Mancha's got a little bit of bully tendencies. Like, I didn't really like how she spoke over Ratile and how she was interjecting Ratile quite a lot. I don't know if you guys saw that part, because there was a part where they linked up towards the end of episode 8 to obviously talk about the situation and what had happened. Because I guess there was a point where Ratile and Nunurai and Tsecho were together and they were talking about this whole situation, and then Tsecho was like to them, but why are you, you know, speaking of Happy in that way, saying I've got my friends and I've got this, it's classist. But I'm pretty sure I had called that part out a long time ago. Ratile does have elements of classism, but because the show is pre-recorded, we will see it unfold. We will. She's classist. She thinks to some degree she's better, but then she knows for a fact she's not better than Miss Mobs, because Miss Mobs is the richest housewife. So that's why to a certain degree nobody actually can call out Mrs. Mobs. But personally, even if I had 2 rand in my account and Miss Mobs was being weird, I would have called out. I would have said, you sneaky ass bitch. Maybe Ratile will call out Mrs. Mobs at some point when they're sitting together. However, I feel like what I picked up about Ratile before Tsecho started saying, yeah, my friends are all like this and da-da-da-da, I picked up a certain level of classism. And I thought, yeah, but then pageant girls are all like that. Pageant girls always stay prim and proper and sit like this and smile like this, and women like me agitate them so they think we're beneath them because we don't have poise, right? So I thought, man, maybe Ratile na libu pageant, man, na libu pageant girl bo snacks, of which I think she does have it. However, when she was called out for it, all of a sudden there's a lot of backtracking here, you know? So yeah, I do think Ratile is a bit classist, but she was definitely, she's seeing flames. Shame, man. She said what she said about Happy. Tsecho called her out, and then Tsecho called her out again. But then the only thing that I dislike about Tsecho is that Tsecho talks over people, and she's a bit of a bully. And sorry, Tsecho, you being short and very petite doesn't make you less of a bully. You understand? Bullies come in different shapes, forms, and sizes. I know this because I'm short, but I ain't gonna let no tall nigga tell me shit, you know? So Tsecho had to sit down with her, and then this is how I see hore Ratile is classist. She's like, yeah, mosadi kare utlilo otolwa. She's even got her, what do you be saying? The brown dash. What do you be saying? I don't know, it's what old people do. Like, dude, I don't know, not 94, dog. Now I was born in 94. Now I was born when the freedom stages were on. She said, utlile ka di dash, di ka di brown dash, which then when I checked, she was talking about Tsecho's braids. And I was like, or maybe we can try Rustenbeck. But now I want you guys to go back to episode 3 and rewatch through episode 8 and watch all of Ratile's diary sessions. Not even one of them is encompassed with any form of, you know, we're all on the same page, we're all even. No, not even one. Yeah, you must check me, I'm not a snake, don't get confused by these contact lenses. No, but that was a sick line. Ooh, that was real. I respect that. I was like, oh, I'm sure now don't get confused by these contact lenses. I was like, I will say this though, I think Ratile is a good friend. I really do think she's a good friend. I don't know her personally, but I do think her standing up for what she believes is right says a lot about her as a person, you know? Her still coming out and calling shit out for what it is, that is a big thing. Towards the last 2 episodes, I started feeling like Ratile was bullied. Ratile wasn't given a chance to speak. Ratile wasn't given an opportunity to be heard and an opportunity to be vindicated. Ratile was just put in the firing line, you know, bullets after bullets after bullets, and that was unfair. Because the thing is, when she was trying to talk to Manch, Manch spoke over her. When she was trying to talk to Happy, Happy spoke over her. So maybe it is in her nature not to fight. When she said, I don't like conflict, because someone said, Ratile started crying, and I was like, listen, when I watched it, I was like, honestly, I would probably also not cry, but I would have walked away. I would have left Manch there sitting by herself, because you are not giving me an opportunity to explain myself here. I'm telling you how I feel. You're talking over me. You're telling me you're telling me you're papela. Yeah, fine. Ratile, uwa too much sometimes, Arahan. But what Miss Munch did to you was definitely very much uncalled for. You didn't have to tell her off camera. You felt very caught off guard. If you throw me under the bus and you think I'm gonna come to the side and tell you how I feel called side things, like clearly like on screw for shut eye. Because what you're not gonna do is air my shit about my friends out there, and then when I air your shit, all of a sudden you're sitting there on some, yeah, but you didn't have to do that. Why didn't you tell me how you felt? How I feel on camera. Because in the moment she's fuming Wanabatu, she's probably laughing with you, but deep down when she got in the car, she was like, fuck that bitch. And honestly, I would have done the same. Because fuck you! Like, no, not fuck you, literally. But like, fuck you for putting my shit out there. Mara wana you know what I mean? I feel like Munch has some bully tendencies, but she's very strategic in who she bullies. She's not gonna bully Happy, she's not gonna bully Mobs, but she will bully Nunurai and she will bully Ratile. And it's a very unpleasant sight to see, and I'm really hoping to some degree Ratile actually sticks up for herself. But if you don't worry, Ratile, this channel is designed to stick up for those who are defenseless. I got one mark, Mara. I'm not gonna lie and say these women weren't badgering you for no fucking reason. They badgered you. Sometimes, but it's not like you said her cloud chasing to her face. You didn't say it to her face. No, did you ask about Givey Boo in front of everybody. You actually had some decorum, mama. Anyway, guys, that is it. That is my take on these few episodes. I think the past 5 episodes. Comment down below and let me know if you think I am being biased. I probably am. I don't care how you guys feel, but I do care how you guys feel about the ladies on the show. So comment down below, let me know what you think and if you agree or disagree. But until then, I will see you guys in my next TV recap of The Mommy Club.